Just give me a minute. Okay, Deepa, is the screen visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes, now it's as a full screen.
All right. Thank you so much, Deepa. Okay. So our topic for today is AI as your research partner and not a shortcut. So here we'll be considering our role as the educator, our role to educate students, empower students in this particular era of AI, and how the information floats and how the information gets generated, for all our academic purpose as well as our personal understanding. So let's get into it. Okay, now in the previous, few years back, we used to get information in books or in the reference material. But after that, the revolution came, and Google was, Google search became our kind of, source where we used to get information. And now that AI has come, to even get deeper and larger number of information, and on a quickly kind of basis. So let's see, if we want to get a particular information on Google, we used to actually struggle, because we used to get lot of search results, and we used to choose one of those which is like correct, authentic, or more practical into your particular topic. But now, if you want to see AI is giving you information in a very short and brief and the way you want. But you have probably no clue about whether it is a quick information, but whether it is correct or not. So if you search, you get billions of results, but you don't know which one to rely on. So for that, you need to at least educate yourself, and then probably educate your students as well. So let's at least know the basics of the AI tools. Like, it has become a new Google for our students and for us also. So no one actually goes and get information from Google, but we go straight away to ChatGPT. So I just want to know how many of us are using ChatGPT on a regular basis, and for what kind of information that you want, you generally get from or generate from ChatGPT. If you can just quickly write down which tools that you are using and what kind of information that you generally get from ChatGPT, that will be helpful for us to also, explore a little more about this AI tool. I'll just give you 1 minute. And if you can quickly write down in a chat box that what kind of information that you generate from AI.
So people are saying assignments, project
Okay.
reports,
Yes,
planning. Yes,
lesson
planning.
plan. Yes,
Library activities.
exactly. You must be also exploring ChatGPT or any other AI tool for your personal learning, personal understanding, or get personal help, a kind of information. So suppose I have I have used ChatGPT to get even, party games for my daughter's birthday. Yes. Also, we can get a kind of itinerary if you want to visit some place. So we generally get a kind of information which we require and which we can use for our day-to-day life from ChatGPT. And there's nothing, isn't it?
I request the participants to please turn off their mics.
Thank you, Deepa. Okay, so now with our use of ChatGPT and even other AI tools, we must be knowing a lot of AI tools like Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, Notebook. Quillbot is such a popular, which is like used on a daily basis, isn't it? If you want to summarize something or if you want to paraphrase something, you always use it. And there's nothing wrong. For our understanding, we can always use, because IB also promotes the technology. AI is a new technology that we should accept for progression in a technological fields. So why not? But if we use it in a proper way, yes, definitely. And we will be, understanding how the proper way that we are going to develop usage or using the AI tools and getting our results or our output. So let's get into that particular thing where the students are actually doing their research. We generally help them, for formulating their topic, their research question, and even their research method and all that. So let's get into that. What is AI? First, we'll see what is AI. So we'll start from the introduction and then get into the details of it. So AI is a system that performs tasks requiring human intelligence. That is a general definition of AI. And there are a lot of generative AI that we saw, which actually helps us to generate ideas, create text, summarize, paraphrase, isn't it? And AI can boost research productivity if responsibly used, isn't it? So responsibility is another, keyword that I just want to elaborate here on. All right. So now, if we see that we are using ChatGPT extensively, our students will also be using it because they are one step ahead of us in the world of technology. If we know something, they know even, far better or more than what we know. So our students' life into ChatGPT or in AI tools is something like this, where this is a current data, a current scenario where the AI use in the university's assessment has surged. The data shows that 92% students are reporting that they are using the AI tool for their academic work, for their academic purpose. And this is a recent survey. So this is not a number, like generated from ChatGPT, but it is the reality. The data shows, the recent survey shows that, and the study shows that AI generated information, if they use in their assessments, in their exams, is not getting even, detect. So that is again a kind of risk that is there in when we use the AI. So if we see that this demonstrates that AI's capability or its strength is so much, for that we need to also give some, a kind of strong, a pattern or kind of system that will help all of us. And that is something called integrity. And our school academic integrity policy will always help us, if we have updated academic integrity policy of our school, which will give all the pointers where, how, and in what extent that students should use ChatGPT or the AI generated information, and in which form. Okay, now we'll see what, when students are brainstorming about their research, they generally go for the first step that they follow is go to ChatGPT. Chalo, ChatGPT karte hain. Go to ChatGPT and get some ideas and pretend that they're ideas. That's fine, because some ideas are common which any human being can come up with. So what AI can do for them in their research is that brainstorm the ideas for their research question, literature search in like short points or a kind of bullet points, summarize a little bit of text for understanding or for clarity and exploring the data pattern. So this is how it works and give you the results of your whatever topic that you want to find the information about. But if you use it ethically, yes, this information can be used properly in the research. But you know what? When you get this information, the first thing is that don't take this information as final. Try to understand whether it is a trusted source. Verify the output is correct or not. So there may be some sources which will help you to understand, yes, this information is correct and this information can be used, but not like as it is. You can always paraphrase it and put it in your human kind of language and then add into your research. So that is something which AI can do for research for our students. Now let's see what AI cannot do. If you also expect AI to do all this, which will not be possible. So generate truly original thoughts? No, because it's a machine. It is giving the data which is collated from various sources and generated in a very good language, but it is not something which is the original thought. It has taken from some other thought. Most of the thoughts are not original when we see. They're taken from somebody else. But if you modify, if you, rework on it, revisit those, you might get, generate a new or original thought as a human being also. Now, secondly, the limitation of AI, which AI cannot do for us, like how human is doing, is the factual accuracy, because AI always hallucinates, gives us good information, think that it is really a correct information or a nice information, but it is not the fact. So we need to understand the background of how it is generating for us. It is hallucinating, and that is how we are getting, sometimes we are getting wrong information. It's a limitation, it's a kind of risk for our research, for our students' research. Again, critical thinking. Critical thinking is one of the 21st century skill which we are developing within our students. But if the machine generated or AI tool generated information is given by the students, that means that we are not allowing the child, the student, to think critically and come up with your kind of thoughts or ideas, which will be the original ideas. And again, it doesn't mean as a valid research. It is something which is like done already and given somebody and then treated as your own, which is not a correct thing. So here, one ethical point that we need to always consider, that is, AI tools can always invent plausible looking content, which is like looking very nice, very usable, but it is sometimes made up also, and the references can also be made up. So that is how these are the limitations. So we always, considering these possibilities and not possibilities, I mean, can do and cannot do, we always have to consider that there are some limitations. So we cannot completely rely on AI. Okay, now it's your turn to, give your inputs in chat box. I've given 3 scenarios here: scenario A, scenario B, and scenario C. If you can just take 2 minutes and write, identify these scenarios, which one is human. Say, suppose A is human, or B is human, or C is human. Just give your inputs by reading these and give whatever that you feel like. Write which is human, which is AI, and which is the published one. Just take 1 or 2 minutes to read and come up with your inputs, come up with your thoughts on these. Which one is AI generated, which one is human, the original content, and which one is the published version of this particular scenario or a data.
So Mr. Yash is saying that C is AI generated. Miss
C
Garima
is
is
AI generated.
yes,
Okay.
Miss Garima is saying A is published, B human, and C AI. Then
Okay.
there's another answer. A is AI, B is human, and C is published. Ms. Deepthi Arora
Okay.
is saying A is AI, B is human, and C is published.
Okay, that's correct actually. If
Yeah.
you see, A is a AI generated text, B is human generated, and C is published text. So we can, if you see the language, understand the usage of language over here, we can easily come up with what has been done over here. So if you see the significant role in shaping behavior and identity and relationships. So AI has considered all the possibilities which has, come or which is, considered in the social media. But here, human, the B scenario is given whatever that person can think about, but at a larger value or larger view. And the third one is the published one, where the research has done, some kind of survey has done, and the data or the 95 percentage has given in that. So that is how it is a published kind of material or scenario which is given over there. So we can see the differentiation in these three types. So you always consider while reading your student's research, you can easily understand whether the child has done, that student has done on his own, in his own language, or he has used the language which AI has given and copy pasted the whole thing as it is. So that way we can identify while we read the research or the reports or whatever answers that the students have given. So that is how it helps us to also understand how the child has, done this particular task. Let's go to the next one, which is a prompt question. Prompts is one of the important element in the world of AI. And if you see that there is a big kind of market or kind of career which has arisen, which is prompt engineering. So see the vastness, the depth of AI. It is so huge and so complex that prompts are also playing very important role. If you give a particular prompt to get a particular information, you will get in that particular form itself. But if your prompt are in details, you get the detailed information the way your prompt has given to the AI. So this is something which is very important, and it's very interesting to learn also these different prompts. I'll be sharing some of these resources also at the end. I will share the link with all of you so that you will get to know that there are some prompts which are generated or created, not generated, created by some teachers, some educators, to also challenge AI whether it provides us the correct information or not, or what kind of information it gives us. So I'll be sharing those as well in the resources. But meanwhile, we'll see how these prompt helps us, to get the information or the AI as support. Okay, here. So this is something, the ideal prompt which I have mentioned over here. Some of you may be teaching CBSE students. Some of you may be teaching IB students. Some of you may be having, public libraries. That is all different libraries and different information centers. But if you want to, say, suppose, create a particular lesson plan, as you mentioned that you are also using AI for generating lesson plans for your day-to-day work. So if you want to create a lesson plan, so I've just created, I've used this particular template for creating my own lesson plans and modifying it later on as per my requirement and as per my students' capacity and all that. But the major thing which I have, added is create a lesson plan to explain a particular concept, whatever concept that I want to introduce or I want to, teach my students or conduct a lesson on. For grade level, I teach for grade 6 to 12. So I just, create or add that particular level or grade in a clear and structured way, which includes key concepts, which are very important in DPYP and MYP, LPAs, ATL skills. All these should be, covered under this information, and a brief overview of definition, real world examples, the benefits, limitations, and give me a concise thing where the language is a kind of academic or simple to easy to understand. There are 5 to 6 reliable sources for my further reading, because I cannot just rely on what ChatGPT is creating, generating for me, but I need to also understand whether it is correct or not, whether it is doable or not, whether I can do it in a practical way or not. So that is how I need a further reading and understanding resources also, which probably can be proven my students learning in form of VTRs, which are visible thinking routines, and a kind of exit slip where students will also, give their inputs that I have learned something out of this activity, and this concept is clear to me in this particular way or this particular sense. So that is how the whole uh, idea or this prompt is helping me to get a proper and whatever that I've asked will be considered into this lesson plan. So it is really helpful for us to generate lesson plans or a kind of activity sheets out of AI or from ChatGPT, but we can always mold it the way we want. We're taking ideas from here, but we can generate our own with the help of basic things that we have received from here. So it is one example. There are few examples which I'll be giving where instructional strategies are also clear. I'll just read out one or two. I'll be sharing all of these strategies, the templates with you, but I'm just giving you one. I want to facilitate a discussion on so-and-so topic. What are some discussion protocols I can use to engage students and ensure all students have an opportunity to share their thoughts? So here, a lot of sharing will be happening from student side, but I need to give such prompts that I will be promoting students, encouraging students to give their thoughts and their critical thinking out of this entire activity. So isn't it good to, get the ideas where I can, maximize the learning of my students with the help of this particular prompt? So it is always good. I can get more students' engagement into it and ensure that, yes, students have come up with whatever outcome and whatever the learning outcome that has been expected from them to come up. So that is how these prompts are helping us to get these instructional strategies from AI. This feedback and reflection also, you can ask AI to generate a kind of exit slip or reflection sheet where students will give their inputs, that how critically they thought about it and how they have come up with their own understanding from this particular activity or whatever lesson that you have planned. So these are general kind of, sentences which I've created and kept ready for all of you to understand that, yes, all these can be incorporated to get your reflection sheet or your lesson plan generated, which will always help students' engagement and to build their confidence, strength, everything. So these are some of the feedback and reflection prompts. Now, very important topic, which is academic integrity. I'm sure I'm going in a proper thing. It's not so difficult for all of you. Please let me know in case if you want me to, focus on a particular thing which you have not understand. You can always put it in the chat box. Deepa will always help me out for that. Okay, so let's go ahead. Academic integrity is something which is very important for any academic or any educational institution. So how many of us are from IB background? They should be having their academic integrity policy in place, where school has created their academic integrity policy, which is again, connecting with the IB philosophy and IB academic integrity policy. So there are a lot of guides available for us, from IB, where we can create uh, our school academic integrity policy, our core values, mission statements, and all that. So that is how we are, showcasing that yes, we are also following the academic integrity and also doing our whatever day-to-day activities or learning and teaching in authentic and a proper manner, where students learning is also focused and their engagement, and they also become a global citizen at the end. So that is how the academic policy in respect to AI, like how we are following this particular kind of academic behavior in the other resources. Similarly, for AI generated resources also, we need to be very particular, and the policy should be in place in each of our schools, in every school. So there are some key principal points or key points that I want to focus on, which are where whenever so it's just not the policy that has been given in the form of paper, but it is always to follow these norms on a day-to-day basis when we handle information on AI or any other tool. So always disclose when AI is used in research or writing. So this is specifically for our students. Whenever they use the AI tools for their research purpose, they need to disclose it. It's very easy, very simple. There are ways of putting it into the citation. I'll be coming to that also, but always disclose, because then it shows your honesty that yes, you have used AI tools and generated a little bit background question for your research or for your writing, even if it is a report. So that is one thing. Don't present AI generated text as your own original work. Because if you're using AI, if you're using ChatGPT or any other tool, you need to specify that so that it's not your original work, but you have taken a little help to generate ideas, to get new thoughts on it. That is acceptable. Use AI for enhancing your understanding and not doing the work as it is, like how we copy paste the whole thing. That is not acceptable, because you're not reading into it, you're not going to the real kind of research, but you are just taking whatever has been generated through that machine or through that AI tool, which is not acceptable. It's a kind of shortcut which we are not going to do, because if we portray all that to our students, they are going to do it, they are going to copy us, and they are going to do the same thing, and then they ultimately they will be into the trouble when the research work or whatever writing reports come to the end when they submit their reports and all that. So here the ethical tips for all of us is, AI tools don't replace the researcher's responsibility of critical thinking. It just generates the information and ideas and gives for your understanding. So this is something about academic integrity. We'll also get into the other ethical guidelines that might, be in a place or might be, focused on. So here there are 4 things which I just want to focus first on. Academic integrity that we've just seen, MLA API guidelines, where how are we going to cite these information sources. So there's a format given. We can always take that format and use it for our research purpose whenever our students have used the AI tools generated information. This robot test, which is again, some of you must have already used CRAP or CAP test for your secondary sources of information when the students are doing their diploma, even their reports, in MYP or DP. So there is a robot test for AI generated information sources, which we will be looking into, details in the next few slides, evaluating 13 scenarios of AI in students' coursework. This is also a very important document and a very important guideline which IB has given to us. Robot test is by Chicago School. And we will be just looking into it so that we can use these are the tests which will be helpful to our students and to us, to get the authentic sources of whatever that AI has generated for us, and whichever information is accurate, we can use it by testing these through these tests. One is the robot and one is the evaluating. How we evaluate these? So there are some pointers which are given. We'll just look into it in details in the next few slides. Okay, so citing AI responsibly, because we know that whenever we use any kind of research material or any material, secondary sources, primary sources, we add those in our footnotes, in our references, the bibliography and everything. Similarly, yeah. Okay. So similarly, AI also need to get cited into our research. And this is the format. If you're using MLA9, this is the format of how the AI generated tools can be, added as in your bibliography or in your citation. And APA7 format is also good. Now, the important note is that not to cite AI when it is just used to generate the idea. If there is any quotation, yes, definitely, we need to add this particular as our citation for that particular topic or for that particular concept. So this is something on citation, how to cite AI. Now, next one is the robot test, which will be critically evaluating the AI tool generated information, where it is very simple, where it has mentioned R for reliability, information, whether the information is reliable, who has made it, and how transparent this information is. If it is just in a goody language, which is not having any kind of fact in it, it is not reliable. Objective. So what kind of objective was behind this particular information? Whether it has mean to inform, to pursue, or to just get the financial support from it, then it's not a probably authentic information. Bias. If it is bias, any kind of ethical issues that whether exist in that, or it's just where the creator has created it for a particular kind of reason and not taking as the a kind of overall research into a particular field or a concept. Owner, who's the owner of that particular information? Any government sites, any company, any research groups. So that is also very important. If that information is created by, say, suppose if UNESCO has given some information and that has been derived from AI, from ChatGPT, then you can say, yes, this is the authentic information because this website of UNESCO is authentic. The organization who does the work for this particular area of humanity is authentic, and it is research based, and it is on a worldwide level. So you can always consider that as authentic and the correct information. Type to check whether the technology is theoretical or or applied, what kind of information system that relies in it. That is also very important, whether it just depends on human intervention. So that is also we need to check, and then only we can consider this information as authentic, and then that can be used as your part of research or a kind of paragraph in your research report or in your regular reports or studies. So this is something which is very important for us to consider. And like how I usually take CRAP test for evaluating the secondary sources for my IB students. I have started taking this robot test also for evaluating the AI resources, AI tools, whatever information that has generated, so that you make aware your student. Yes, there is something available, and you need to follow that so that you will come to a correct information, and then your EE or your reports or your research is getting the authentic kind of standard. Otherwise, it will be just the copy pasting and not the real research. All right, so this is something very important where IB has given us the guideline how to use the AI. If it is, say for example, if a student want to just translate from one language to another. Say suppose if a student who is doing a research into Hindi language, say for example, and if a child is not comfortable, and if the student is always translating this information into Hindi to English, then the essence of Hindi language, because every language has its potential in a sense, and then it is going waste if the language elements are not getting developed or not getting into consideration. So here certain scenarios are very important for us for understanding, yes, but for languages, translation into from one language to other and just giving it the way it is, it's not correct, it is not acceptable. So I'll be sharing one Padlet link with you. Just take 2 minutes or 5 minutes to just read through these 13 scenarios which are given by IB, and on a Padlet link, just give whether it is acceptable or not. You can just randomly give the numbers 1, 2, 3. You can at least come up with 5 to 6 scenarios, which are whether these scenarios can be possible, yes, acceptable, and if not acceptable, no. Just write yes or no against the numbers, and I'll come to know which what you're talking about. And after that, if you can come up with after reading these 13 scenarios, I will come up with the IB guidelines whether it is acceptable or not acceptable, and then you can come up with your understanding whether with the VTR. I'll be quickly sharing it with you. Take 5 minutes for it, 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll see how we can learn about this. Let me just share it with you. Okay.
Miss Aarti, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay. I've shared it in the chat box. If you can click on the particular link, you will go to this particular 13 scenario document, which has been given by IBO. And if you can come up with your inputs on this Padlet. I'm sharing a Padlet link next to it. Okay. On a Padlet link, if you can write your views, thoughts, or your responses, it'll be helpful to know your thoughts on it, or what is your view about these. Um, Can you please give thumbs up if you can see 13 scenarios in my Padlet link? Yeah, I can see one or two, yes, responses. Correct.
Yes,
You
people
can
have
go ahead.
started adding, yes, people have already started adding the information in the Padlet.
Correct.
Yeah.
I can see one or two responses have come. So you just have to read one or two, no, 4 to 5 for your understanding, and come up with your answer, whether it is all right, whether it is okay or not okay. So I'll quickly read it for you. Okay. So if say suppose if there is a scenario where a child or a student is okay, the student uses an AI to suggest improvement to their grammar and sentence constructions, but not a whole scale rewrite. If in this particular situation, what do you think, whether it is acceptable to use whatever AI has suggested or not? Student asked AI for summary of key points for the essay and some references to cite, and then reads these sources to understand them.
I can see the responses in the chat box. Miss Devi mentioned acceptable, and then there's a PS. There's also said yes. Miss Manju also saying yes. Miss Sudha is also saying yes, it's acceptable.
Yes.
I wanted to ask something after reading these scenarios, like what is exactly that we have to do? We have to say it is acceptable or not.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
okay.
certain scenarios are really not acceptable. For example, I've given you language one, which is not acceptable because you are considering a language with the elements of language. So the essence of language goes away if you just, translate it. Learning a particular language itself is a very big, challenging task, and you are making it in such a way where you are just losing the essence. There's no reason of learning this language then. So if you are learning a language, you should definitely get into the elements of the language and not just the translation. For understanding a particular thing, yes, once in a while it is fine. But if you just, do it on a frequent manner or on a frequent basis, it is not acceptable. So IB gives us this guideline where we need to understand what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Because there are certain scenarios where IB says, yes, it is acceptable, but certain things not acceptable. because it is not authentic. It is not correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deepti?
Yeah, I also wanted to ask in the first scenario itself, I
Hmm.
see that, it says, asking for the summary and the references to cite, and
Yes.
then reads these sources to understand them. So this means this is still for the personal use. It is not presented.
Yes, exactly.
So
It's only for understanding.
so
So it is
yeah.
acceptable. It is acceptable.
But
So,
then why is the child asking for citing also?
okay. So citing as in
To
when you,
validate the summary?
exactly, or to revisit those sources,
Okay.
isn't it?
So
So that
that's
is,
acceptable, right?
but it is only for understanding.
Yeah,
Understanding is a
yes,
very
so there
important
has to,
word
this
over
also
here.
has to be understood that this is for personal use, not to present.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And that
So
way there
question
are
here
13
is,
scenarios
Aarti,
which are given.
Aarti,
Yes.
my question here is, we cite the AI or we cite the sources that we refer to?
We cite the sources. Okay, so I have given you the the style of MLA and API in the previous slides.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but my
One
question
second.
is whether we cite the chat GPT or we cite the sources that it showed us.
Chat GPT
See,
only.
anyways, we have
In
to
the
also
chat
cite
GPT,
ChatGPT also, right?
yes, in the chat GPTs, the link, the URL of chat GPT and the prompt that you have asked to get that particular information. If you see that the MLA style, there the prompt has also given in double in the inverted commas, and the link has also given of from which chat GPT. The date has also given. Date is also very important. If I am trying to get that information today and I've got something, I should mention the date of that particular day.
Yeah, but it is not it is not generated. Okay, we are just taking for our understanding. So if it is not AI generated, why should we cite it? My question is that.
Exactly. If it is just for your understanding and if it is AI generated, you don't have to cite. Understanding, you don't have to cite. But if
That's
you are taking any quotes from the particular information that you have received from AI, then you have to cite the source.
so here. Dipti is just taking forward what Dipti asked. So I asked ChatGPT for some sources for some topic. So it suggested me this some 4 or 5 links and all that. Now I'm visiting those links for my further understanding. So my
Yeah,
research is goes to those links. Okay,
exactly. And those are your citations.
those are
Those
my citations.
not AI.
That's
See,
my question.
anything that we present needs to be cited no matter what. Wherever you are
Exactly.
taking information from, whether it is ChatGPT, any person or any site, right? We have to cite it.
Yes.
So
That is for sure.
yeah,
Yes.
this is to see that this is what we tell children right from, grade one, nursery onwards, that whatever you take from wherever you take, it has to be cited no matter what. Then,
Exactly.
yeah, the other thing is, keeping it for your understanding, whatever it is. But when you're presenting, you have to mention
Exactly. Now,
everything.
you
Yes.
see, Dikti, you're right that from the beginning, we just inculcate that habit of citing the source so that children also get to know, yes, I have to do this, and this is one of my completion process if I do anything. But beyond that, if you see nowadays, even, grade 5 children are doing chat GPT,
Exactly. See, I'm a primary school librarian, so I can connect to that, relate to that.
exactly. So while using chat GPT and getting some information, you need to cite that.
Hmm.
Because nowadays it has become like a regular habit or a practice where some of our
Exactly.
IPTP students this year we found that there are 92% students have picked up so many things from chat GPT. So AI sources are there, but how much you are using them. And then again in Turnitin, it is showing that yes, 92% is taken from ChatGPT. Even in Quillbot, there is ChatGPT percentage we can identify. So then it becomes too much of, copy pasting or taking from AI and not creating your own thoughts or, your own thinking.
Miss
So,
Aarti?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's almost time.
Yeah, Miss Aarti, we have 5 minutes left to conclude the session.
Okay.
Yes,
So I'll be expecting, if you just take 2 more minutes after the session also and write your thoughts on the Padlet, it will be very helpful for me, and your learning will also be, possible into it. Let me just share once again for my last 1 or 2 slides. That's it.
So there is a feedback link in the chat. I request the participants after the session, please fill this form and make sure you enter your correct spelling so that can be printed on the certificate. Yes, Miss Aarti, go ahead. Thank you.
Just go back to my. Right. So okay, so the next slide where we understood the 13 scenarios. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Miss Aarti, it's visible.
Okay. So if you can just add those answers, it will be very helpful. It will also help you to learn how these scenarios can help you, doing your own kind of, if you are guide to a particular child for their research and all that. Okay. So now the takeaway from this whole kind of, session where AI should amplify human intelligence and not replace it. We've seen that how it is hallucinating, how it is, giving us false information, and we are relying on that. So that is how we need to also be smarter than AI and, verify and see whether it is really a correct information and if or not. Okay. So there are final tips which are over here. AI is the first draft and not the final answer. Assess the process of your research and not just the product from AI, what you receive. Treat AI like a smart partner, but unreliable intern. So always not rely on whatever that you receive from AI. Normalize declaring and citing AI use, which is very important for us to, finally get to these AI kind of outputs. Design your own task. AI can't do it all alone. All right. So please, I just want to conclude with my closing statement where AI should not replace thinking. It should challenge, support, and sharpen it. When used well, authentically, and in realistically, AI doesn't make research easier, it makes research even more deeper. If you really want to help your students engaging into a authentic kind of research, please use these kind of, ideas and thoughts which I've shared. I'll be sharing the link of my resources, which I've compiled. It's not my own resources. It has been compiled from various sources and, got together in just one platform. And I'll be sharing that link with you. It's my Google Drive link. It'll be available only for 1 week's time. I will be, stop sharing that later on. So please pick up whatever resources that you want to pick up from it within a week's time. Next Saturday, I'll be closing it. Let me share it on the chat box so that you all can see it. Also requesting you to fill up the feedback forms. If you want me to also, get something more on AI, deeper in AI, field, I am happy to, give you and create another session, even, in a deeper way, which will help all of you to understand, because AI is something very new to all of us. Some of us know about it, some of us doesn't know so much about it. So please feel free, if you want me to also come up with another session where any particular concept that you want to, elaborate on, you can add it into the feedback form, and you'll also get your certificates once you will fill up your forms. Thank you so much for good audience, and thank you so much for your inputs into the Padlet and even in the chat box. I'm sharing the link of the resources which are compiled by me, which will be open for 1 week's time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Aarti, for a wonderful and insightful session. It was really eye-opening for us also, those who are using ChatGPT, and guiding the students also how to use the ChatGPT. So yes, definitely, whatever insights you have shared today with us, we will be using those, considering those, and informing and guiding our students further to not to use AI as a shortcut, but yes, to use it as a learning partner. The request for the participant, please make sure that you will fill the feedback form, and you can add the topics also there that you would like the central books to conduct the sessions further for you. We will be considering your inputs also, that whatever learning you want. Participant, please mute your mic.
Sir,
Can you please mute your mic?
Pathak sir, can you please mute yourself? Thank you so much.
So yes, I'm repeating myself again. Request everyone to fill the feedback form, and just add on the topic that you would like us to address further in our upcoming sessions to enhance collaborative learning.
Thank you so much, Deepa. Thank you so much, Anirudh, for all the support.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Once you will fill the form, you may leave the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. See you next week.
Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Kevin sir.
A quick question. I have filled out the feedback form. May I just log out and fill the Google form as well? Is that okay?
You have already filled the feedback form?
Vidya? Can you
Yeah, Aarti, no, I have filled out the feedback form that was given here in the chat. Now, may I log out of the session and go fill out the other Google form that Ms. Deepa had shared?
Yeah, you can log out if you have completed your feedback form.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Aarti. The session was enlightening, and I had a few queries and I got it cleared here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sri Vidya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hope to see you back on the next Saturday.
If you have completed your feedback form, you can log out.
Yeah, people are filling the form, and yes, they are logging it out.
Yeah, I just filled my form now, and thank you so much for the class, for the session. I'm very grateful. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Mm.